one issue that
What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video we are looking at another car from Laegendary RC. Now the last car I did from Laegendary RC was the Laegendary Nitro, which ironically enough is not a nitro truck. It is a electric brushless short course truck. This one is a monster truck. It is along with their 1/10 scale trucks. And there aren't many videos on this car online, so Laegendary was kind enough to send one out to me. You can get these readily available on Amazon for around $300, completely ready to run with a battery. So let's take a look at what comes in the box. We'll do some B-roll on it, and of course we'll take it out for a bash and maybe do some speed runs. So I've taken this apart just a little bit, but we'll go through what you get inside. It looks like they went to electronic user manuals, so you will not have a big bulky book in here. If you need any information on the car, be sure to go to this link, or you can use the QR code down below and check out the user's manual. Something nice about these Laegendary cars are that they usually come with, or at least the monster trucks that is, they come with two bodies. So this one is the blue body. You can see it looks like there is a little fin on here along with some nuts and bolts for it, and this goes right on the back. And we also get a green version, same thing. It has a little wing on the back, so we'll see which one we're gonna put on there in just a second. Along with most of the Laegendary cars, you get a nice Lipo bag. This is great to have when you're charging. You have your USB charger brick as well as the USB charger in here, so those go together. You will also get a wheelie bar. Now this wheelie bar seems to be made out of some pretty high quality plastic. It's real sturdy and it has a nice wheel on the back. So we'll put this on because I think this is going to be a wheelie monster. Again, this part goes with the wheelie bar there, along with some hardware for that. You also get the remote in here. I've gotten this remote on a couple other Laegendary cars. It's tiny, it's good for one-handed driving, and you'll have your steering reverse, your throttle reverse, your steering trim and dual rate, your throttle trim and dual rate on there. So just a nice little remote, really nice and compact, and you can tell it's for the Laegendary cars because it has Laegendary right on top. You also get a couple of spare parts. It looks like they give you some body posts, some extra ones there, as well as an extra spur gear, which is nice. Sometimes when you run these budget cars, the spur gear or some of the gears strip out, so it's good that they give you an extra one. You don't have to buy any replacements before you get going. And they also give you the dual battery connector here in case you want to run two batteries at once to double your runtime. But it's funny enough that it only comes with one battery. When you run that dual battery connector, you do want to run two of the same style battery and the same size battery, just so that they dissipate evenly and you're not killing one before the other. But they do give you one battery. This is a 5200 milliamp hour 2S30C Lipo, so that's nice that they give you that. Dean's connectors on that. And finally, we'll get to the car. Now again, this is a 10th scale monster truck, and it has a pretty common layout here. We have our full-sized 3-wire servo right up front. It looks like this is a 3-kilogram servo. It is a full-size servo, so you can go ahead and upgrade that down the road, but we'll leave it completely stock as is for this running video. You then have your receiver here. This isn't a 2-in-1 ESC receiver combo, which is nice, so you could swap out the electronics piece by piece if you really wanted to, but you have your receiver hidden underneath here, so it has a little bit of protection against the elements there. So along with the servo plugged into that receiver, we also have a WP10BL50 ready to run ESC here. I believe this is a rebrand of maybe a Hobby Wing, and it should be good up to 3S. So we'll do some 2S runs, we'll do some 3S runs on it, and I'll show you what we're going to use later on for the 3S batteries, but it's nice that we have that option to get a little bit more speed out of this truck. Moving right along, we have our brushless motor. This is a 3300 kV brushless motor there, and it's got a nice little, I think it's an adjustable motor mount, and it looks like we have, if you can see in there, I'll do some B-roll of it as well, but it looks like we have some sort of slipper assembly in there to help save those gears, so you can tighten and loosen that if you want to fine-tune your running characteristics. You can also see we have a nice aluminum drive shaft right down the middle that goes into the drive cup there, as well as to the drive cup into the front differential there. All the gears on this are metal, so that's really good to note. The tires are pretty cool as well. They have a nice soft compound on them. They are vented in the rim. I might go ahead and vent them through the rubber in case we run this through some water. It can dissipate out and not ruin those foams in there, but they do feel really nice front and rear. So far, build quality looks pretty good. There is a lot of plastic on this car. We have a plastic chassis here, a nice big front bumper there. Hopefully that'll hold up better than the Laegendary Nitro one. It did break at this point, but this does look to be made out of the same plastic as that rear wheelie bar, and it does seem very firm and thick as well. So hopefully we don't have too many nosedives, but I'm hoping this front bumper will hold up to that. Now, this car doesn't come with LED lights, but there are 3 LED light compartments on both sides of this, so a total of 6 LED compartments in case you want to put your own in there. So that's really cool. So we do have oil-filled shocks. You can see they have aluminum caps, but the body of them is plastic. We do have aluminum threads there as well, so you can adjust and fine-tune the shocks. Now, they do feel all right out of the box. You may want to add some thicker oil down the road, but we're going to run this completely as is, front and rear. They don't seem to be leaking out of the box, which is a good sign. They are a little bit flimsy though, so hopefully they hold up to some heavy bashing. We'll take this thing off some big jumps and see how they hold up. One thing I am noticing as I put it down and wiggle the wheels around is that there is a lot of play in some of the wheels, as you can see here. A lot of wiggle room, and I think that's coming from the hubs. They may want to put some sort of shim in between the hub here and maybe the A-arms. There is a lot of wiggle room. I'm not sure if it's the bearings or what it is, and that may worsen over time depending on how hard you bash this thing. So something that was an issue on the Laegendary Nitro was that the servo saver is fairly weak, and so running this on some high traction compounds, that might loosen up a little bit even more. So something to note there, there's no real way to adjust the servo saver at all. So of course we forgot to mention up top we have a nice aluminum chassis brace that should help the car from bending and twisting. So this car does seem fairly sturdy right out of the box. But it seems like it's a pretty good build quality for what you're getting. Again, $300, completely ready to run. So these two together make up that top brace there. And you will see the spur gear and slipper assembly. So there are some slipper pads in there, so that is a different design for one of these budget cars. We have a metal pinion, of course, and yeah, some slipper pads. We have the plastic spur gear, and that goes right into that rear differential. So interesting design here. We can tighten it up in case that is slipping, but there's no center differential, just the slipper pads. Before we potentially break this car and get it dirty and all that stuff, let's do some speed runs. This is the stock 2S battery, and That is full throttle. Not bad, but not bad. Brakes are good. Give you maybe a full speed run on grass. This thing handles grass fine. Again, this is a 10 scale truck. And at that price point, I think right now it's what, $260? Not bad. Laegendary has come a long way. They are in the process of kind of rebranding and getting more replacement parts out there, making this car a full package right out of the box. So 31 right out of the box. Again, not too shabby. For 3S batteries, I'll be using these Huvo 5200 milliamp hour 80C discharge 3S Lipos. So I'll link them down below where you can get them off of Amazon. Assume 3S will go faster than 2S. Get a little wheelie action there, which is nice. And definitely livens it up. Those front tires ballooning. Tracked extremely straight. Didn't even touch the steering at all. That's a good tracking car. Let's see. We'll see if it handles the grass on 3S. Full throttle the whole way. No thermal cutout or anything. Let's see what our 3S Lipo gave us. Wow, okay. 46 miles an hour on 3S. That's pretty comparable to the ARRMA 3S lineup. And again, this car is completely ready to run. These tires are pretty soft, so not really recommended for street. You will wear them down, you can see that. That body roll is like crazy. Shocks could probably use a little bit stiffer oil in there, but wow. On 3S, you get that wheelie. Let's see if we can pull a wheelie here. Oh! Maybe too much. There we go. That's using the wheelie bar. Those rear tires really rolling over. They're very soft, but they do have tread on the side, so maybe that's what they're intended for. Let's go get this thing a bash in some dirt, take it to a baseball diamond, and obviously take it off some jumps. Probably one of my new favorite spots to bash at because this dirt is so dusty and loose. It really makes some awesome footage. Got the Insta360 Go2 right there, and I'll show you exactly what I mean. Alright, so if you guys remember the last video I did here, it was for the Laegendary short course truck, the Nitro, and I had some paddle tires on it. And
The reason that car, the reason that car kind of failed here was because all this loose dirt got into the gears. Now, as you'll see, I'm really gonna baby it off this jump to begin with. And one of the big mistakes that beginners do when they send it off a jump is they hit the brake. In a car like this, the brakes are kind of sensitive, and if you hit the brakes really hard, you're gonna nosedive it. So send it off the jump, let go of the throttle, and it should even out. If it starts to nosedive, give it a little gas. But this car, again, we're on 3S, and this is a really good beginner car. I think, like I was saying before, it's about 250, ready to run with the 2S battery. But this thing handles the dirt really well, handles the jumps really well, and really makes for a good time. These tires really hook up. They're nice and soft, which is what you want for such a loose dirt scenario. You can see I hit the brakes there and it started to nosedive. This thing is perfect for baseball diamonds and small jumps like this. I wouldn't go sending it over rafters and, you know, sending it 40 feet in the air, because something's gonna break. But to run it around your backyard, run around a dirt field, for the price on 3S, this thing is money. Little nosedive there. Now, if I haven't mentioned it already, this car compared to the Nitro does have a different design up front. You can see this is really beefed up here, and it's made out of a harder plastic, so even on that nosedive, it's not, I don't think it's gonna break. Again, these tires are working really well on the dirt here. You can hear all that dirt coming out of it, but put some action footage in here. But I'm just gonna keep running this thing and see if we run into any issues. It's starting to whine a little bit. That could be from the dust getting into places it shouldn't be. So one issue that I had with the Nitro that I seem to notice with this car also is the steering is a little bit weak, and I think it's the servo saver. The spring is not adjustable. Not so much of an issue when you're just bashing like this. Plenty of steering power. But if you were to try and race this thing or get it on a high grip compound, you're gonna notice that it's hard to turn. As you can see, I'm not having any issue drifting it around here. I can put it where I want. But just something to note. Whew. That was a pretty big power slide. You can look at that. Clean it off in the grass. Get some of that dirt out of it. This thing is a beast. Again, I wouldn't try jumping it. Ooh. You can hear those gears grinding a little bit, which might turn into an issue down the road, but I'm just gonna run it. We're still got power to the front and rear differentials, which is good. And even though the shocks are a bit soft, I think these soft foam tires, the rubber tires with the foam in them, I think really helps absorb some of the landings. This thing's a blast. This was the demise of the Nitro because these pebbles are so small. They seem to lock into places, but with a truggy kind of like this, the tires don't really flip the rocks into the body as much like a short course truck does, but I wouldn't be afraid to buy one of these. For 250 bucks, 280 bucks I think they are, maybe with tax. Part availability is becoming better with these budget Amazon cars. Build quality is becoming better. I'm definitely in talks with Laegendary, trying to help them out. If there's anything that you guys think that they could do better, let me know, and I will relay it to them, because they want to make a better car. They want to compete with some of the higher end cars and give them to you guys at a budget price. So let me know what you think down below. This thing is handling these rocks like a champ. It's handling the dirt. It handles the asphalt. After running in some dusty conditions, you're definitely gonna have to service the bearings and stuff like that, but that's not really an issue with the Laegendary cars. That's kind of just across the board. Oh, handled that jump all right. Again, take it for what it's worth. Take it for the price point that you're buying this car for and the type of bashing that you're gonna do. If you're gonna send your car 50 feet in the air and land on asphalt, this probably isn't the car for you. You want something a little bit more durable. Oh, I think we either hit thermal cutoff or the battery is dead. I think it's a great option for someone that wants to get a hobby grade car but doesn't want to spend $400 or $500. Even the ARRMA 3S vehicles that come in at, you know, $350, then you need to buy a 3S battery for another 60 or 70 bucks and another charger and all that stuff. It gets pricey. For 280 bucks, you get a completely ready to run car. You can upgrade it at your leisure with a 3S battery. It comes with that 2S battery that makes this thing go 30 miles an hour out of the box, which is pretty good and really enough speed for someone just getting into it. Remote, you have dual rates for the steering as well as the throttle. So if 30 is too fast for your little guy, turn it down on the remote. Even if they pull it full throttle, it won't go 30. You can turn it down to as fast as you want it to. You can hear this thing starting to creak a little bit, but to be expected when you're running it on dirt. So guys, that is the Laegendary Thunder brushless ready to run car from Amazon. For 280 bucks, this thing is a blast, especially on dirt and just around the backyard. So let me know what you think of this car. Would you pick one up? And what do you think budget brands could improve on? Let me know down in the comments below. I will let Laegendary know because, like I said, they're really trying to make these cars more budget friendly and more durable for people like you that are trying to get into the hobby. So once again, thanks for watching. I have a ton of reviews coming up in the future. I've got a ton of cars ready to be reviewed. I just need to find the time to do it. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.